cows had come alive before dawn on Saturday as sailors prepared for the big race, and at 5 a.m. the first start of the JPMorgan Asset Management Round the Island race got underway from the Royal Yacht Squadron line. Right from the gun, the largest boat in the race, the 100-foot Leopard 3, moved into the lead and started to show her impressive upwind speed in the westerly breeze of 10 to 12 knots. Behind her, the other fast boats in Group 0 fought it out for handicap honours, but there was no doubt which boat would be the first monohull home. By 6 a.m, Leopard had reached Hurst, and already thoughts were turning to the monohull record of 4 hours and 5 minutes. This was Leopard's first race since she arrived from her builders, but with 35 people on the rail and her canting keel fully deployed, Mike Slade's impressive new maxi was carving her way towards the Needles. Leopard rounded the famous lighthouse at 6:15 and set her asymmetric spinnaker for the downwind leg to St Catherine's. Behind Leopard came 3 Extreme 40 catamarans. They'd started 10 minutes after Group 0, but had already blasted their way through the fleet, and now only had Leopard to catch. Leopard jibed her way downwind towards the most southerly point of the Isle of Wight, while the Extreme 40s headed further offshore. At St Catherine's, it was Leopard which still held the lead as she passed the headland at 7:15. She chose to stay inshore as she headed for Bembridge Ledge, while further offshore, the Extreme 40s were making up the distance as they jibed back to intercept the leader. By Sandown Bay, the first of the Extreme 40s, sponsored by the race sponsor JPMorgan Asset Management and sailed by Ellen MacArthur, was neck and neck with Leopard. Ellen's Extreme 40 was clocking 25 knots at times in the fresh westerly breeze, and despite Leopard's size, she couldn't match the speeds the high-performance catamaran was achieving. There was a brief moment of concern when MacArthur dropped her Jenica and rounded West Princessa Buoy, just to the west of the correct mark of Bembridge Ledge. But the team quickly realised their error, and although they lost some ground to the second Extreme 40, ABN AMRO, MacArthur rounded Bembridge Ledge at 12 minutes past 8, with ABN AMRO and Basilica rounding second and third. Leopard had a problem dropping their asymmetric and had to send a man to the masthead to cut the halyard before they could turn to round the mark. Past the forts and back into the Solent, MacArthur was in control, and she covered ABN AMRO as they beat west towards the finish. ABN AMRO fought hard, but couldn't claw back the deficit.
Well, it's nearly 9:15 and we're on the finishing line of the JPMorgan Asset Management Round the Island race. They started at 5 o'clock this morning. It's been a fast ride round, but it's not been quite a record. For a while it looked as if Leopard, the new 100-foot maxi of Mike Slade, had a chance on the record and was going to win the race. But between St Catherine's and Bembridge Ledge, the 3 Extreme 40s passed her, and they led around Bembridge Ledge, they led around the forts, and it's the 3 of them that are approaching the finish now. And amongst those Extreme 40s, it's the one of Ellen MacArthur's that's leading. The JPMorgan Asset Management Extreme 40, with the sponsor on board, is now approaching the finishing line.
JPMorgan Asset Management took line honours at 16 minutes past 9, with ABN AMRO finishing just 50 seconds later. Leopard crossed the line at 9:23 to take monohull line honours, with an elapsed time of 4 hours 23 minutes, just 18 minutes outside the record which Mike Slade set in his previous maxi. Earlier on, it looked as if the day might belong to Leopard, but in the end it was a cat which got the cream.
Ellen, brilliant. What a result.
It was cool, it was a good race, really enjoyed it, fantastic.
You enjoyed it, yeah?
Yeah.
Where did you take the lead of the Extreme 40s? We didn't see you in the Solent, we were down with Leopard.
We led the Extreme 40s at the Needles. I think we led down the backside of the island and pretty much all the way to the finish, so we were very lucky.
Did you mistake West Princessa for Bembridge Ledge? It looked at one point that you weren't going around Bembridge Ledge.
Yeah, there were two boys, and we went around the first and we thought it was a straight run, but then we spotted the boys, so we had to jibe back out.
Thought you were going to lose a bit there.
We did lose a little bit, but not too much, which was lucky.
Was this your first time winning the Round the Island race?
It is my first time winning the Round the Island race, yeah.
A fast race, but not quite the record.
It wasn't quite the record, but you know, there's 40-foot boats, the record's held by a much bigger boat. you've got to have absolutely perfect conditions to do that.
And
That wasn't for us today.
And the extreme forces really showed what they're capable of, didn't they?
The extreme forces were amazing. I mean, the south side of the island was really, really exciting sailing. It was pretty full on.
Yeah, we got some great pictures, so well done.
The fast boats may have stolen the headlines, but behind them was a fleet of 1,800 boats of all shapes, sizes and abilities. When MacArthur finished, the line of yachts stretched around the island back to the Needles, as crews engaged in their own personal duels and attempted to set their own records. We'll be taking a closer look at the race in a full event report, so keep an eye on Cows Online or register to receive news of when our full report is published.